If you're looking for a simple and easy system on your iPhone to help you be more productive, then you're in luck because this video was made just for you. I'm Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and in today's video we're going to dive deep into how to use the free Apple Reminders app on your iPhone. It's an unbelievably powerful tool with a ton of functionality that makes all those third-party subscription-based task management systems completely obsolete. Make sure to stick around for my MacWhisperer power tip where I teach you how to never miss a priority task ever again. And if you'd like to follow along with today's lesson, scan this QR code or hop over to the description section to download your free smart guide, which will walk you through everything we're going to learn today. So, we've wasted enough time. Let's jump in and start getting productive. If you've never used the Reminders app on your iPhone, or you think that the Notes app is the greatest thing that Apple's ever created, you're in for a wake-up call today. Because the Reminders app is every bit as powerful as the Notes app, but it serves a completely different purpose. Where Notes is an easy place for you to store things and help you find them quickly, it lacks a main functionality that people need for their to-do lists. It doesn't know how to remind you. That's right. You can put whatever you want onto your Notes checklist with all of the tasks that you want to accomplish. But if you don't open the Notes app, they're just going to sit there. On the other hand, if you use your Reminders app to create all of your tasks and to-dos, they'll come knocking right on your door and say, "Hey Dylan, don't forget that you wanted to get that done." So in today's video, we're going to start the process of using Reminders by covering some of the basic tools that you can use on the iPhone to elevate your workflow and your productivity. We'll start off with a basic grocery list. Everyone needs to buy groceries, and we've all got our different ways that we keep track of the groceries that we need. For some people, there's a whiteboard on the refrigerator. For other people, there's sticky notes all over the house. And some people don't even use grocery lists. They just keep it all locked inside their head, and they walk into the grocery store and use their spider sense to figure out what they do and don't have back at home. Suddenly you come back from a long, frustrating grocery store visit, missing all sorts of items you didn't get, and buying duplicates of things that you just didn't need. That ends today, because we're going to start using the Reminders app to solve the grocery dilemma. Locate your Reminders app. Once you find it, give it a quick click to open it up. When you first come into the Reminders list, you might be a little overwhelmed. The first thing to learn about the Reminders app is that everything you do is based on what are called lists. It's the base level of how the Reminders app works. And there are multiple different lists and different kinds of lists that are either created by you or pre-created by Apple. Up at the top of your screen, you're going to notice a bunch of colorful boxes that are called pinned lists. Pinned lists are lists that are important, so they're up at the top of your screen to make it easier for you to find them. You can have up to 9 different lists pinned, but Apple's taking some of those up with what I call automatic pinned lists. Up at the top left here, we've got our Today list. The Today list shows any tasks that are due or overdue today. To the right of that, we've got our Scheduled list. The Scheduled list shows you any reminders that have a scheduled date on them today or deep into the future. Then there's an automatic list called All, which puts all of your reminders in one place. Not super useful in my opinion. And one called Completed that shows all the reminders that you've ever completed. Also not super useful in my opinion. If you don't need one or more of the automatic pinned lists, you can easily turn them off by clicking on the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner here. From here, click where it says Edit Lists, and you'll have an option to deactivate or hide any of these lists. If you need them again in the future, you can go back up to the 3 dots and just turn them back on. I use my pinned list, and I need as many sections in the pinned list category as possible. You only get 9, so I'm not going to let Apple take up 6 of them with ones I don't generally use. So I'm going to turn off the All list, the Completed list, and the Assigned to Me list. And then I'm going to click on the blue check mark in the upper right-hand corner. You can add your own lists in at any time by pressing and holding on them and selecting where it says Pin. which we're going to do in just a moment when we create our first list. To create a new list, come up to the top and click on this button right here. That opens up this screen where you can give your list a name, like grocery. Be aware that whatever name you give to your list is the name that you'll use when you talk to Siri to add things onto the list. So make sure it's a name that you can say clearly without Siri getting confused. Down below that, we've got the option of what kind of list type we want to use. It's currently set on standard. I'm going to click on that and choose groceries instead. The groceries list automatically categorizes things into different columns based on the aisles at most grocery stores, which is super helpful. Down below that, we've got an option to choose a color for this grocery list. I'm going to make this one yellow. And then down below that, we've got the option to create an image for our list. We can use any of the monochromatic glyphs that you see here to create a distinctive image for our grocery list, like this one right here of a grocery cart. But there's another option as well, which is the ability to use your emojis. Coming over to the emoji screen right here, you can create images that have a little more depth and color than the monochromatic glyphs. Both image types are great and will look great in this app. It's just up to you which one you want to create. For our grocery list, I'm going to use the grocery cart emoji, and I'm going to click the blue checkbox in the upper right-hand corner to finish setting this up. When you first create a list, it will automatically open it for you, but there's one step we want to do before that. Let's click our back arrow right here so that we're back on our list view. And I'm going to press and hold on the grocery list and choose where it says Pin. That's going to send it up to the top with our other pinned lists. If you'd like to change the order, click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, click Edit Lists, and move it up or down with the three bars on the far right side to position it exactly where you want it to be. When you're done positioning it, click the blue checkbox to finish it up. Now that we've created our grocery list, let's open it up and start adding some items. We can add items by pressing the plus button in the lower right-hand corner, but you can also just click in an open space on the list to create a new entry. You can add things manually by typing, or you can use your dictation to add them quicker. I'm going to use dictation by clicking the microphone in the bottom right corner. And once I'm completed with each item, I'm going to press the return button in order to go to the next item on the list, just like this. Milk, bread, eggs, avocados, Greek yogurt, olive oil, pasta. Notice as I created each entry, it moved into its own section, with olive oil being in the oils and dressings section. When I complete the entry for pasta, notice that it goes into the pasta, rice, and beans section. You can scroll up or down to see the different sections of your grocery list, and it's pretty accurate. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, and it's way better than wandering around the grocery store hoping you remembered to get everything in that aisle and preventing yourself from coming back to that aisle for the pasta or the hamburger meat that you just forgot to grab the first time through. Once you're inside of the grocery store, you can check off the items as you put them in your cart. I got my milk, I got my eggs, I got my bread, just like that. And they disappear from the list to keep it simple and clean. But sometimes when you go to the grocery store, you want to see what you purchased last time. Sometimes there's certain staples that you're getting again and again and again, and it's hard to remember to put them back on the list when you run out. No problem. You can easily show any completed items by clicking on the three dots in the upper right-hand corner here and going to where it says Show Completed. Immediately it will show those completed items, and if you need milk again, uncheck it, or uncheck the eggs, or uncheck the bread. I highly recommend leaving it set to hide completed items rather than having them shown, because if you leave them shown, it becomes really difficult to remember whether you bought that this time or not. Now let's look at the details section for reminders. Whenever you want to add additional details or information into a specific task, you can tap on that item, and to the right side you'll see this little lowercase I symbol. That means Get Info. Clicking on that will open up a screen with additional details. For example, maybe I only want strawberry yogurt. I can come into the notes section and type strawberry in just like that, making it easy for whoever goes to the grocery store to get the kind that I like. Or sometimes you need a specific brand. And so if you scroll down to the bottom of the reminders detail list, you'll see this add image page. For a reminder to grab an image, it needs to either be something you're taking in the moment with your camera or something from your photo library. When I click the add image button, you'll see the options: take photo, scan document, or photo library. For us, we're going to hit photo library right here and select the Greek gods yogurt that I like the best. Now there's no question what kind of yogurt to get or the details. You can even come in and add additional things into the notes section, like maybe you want to make sure we get 6 separate cartons. Come into dictation, 6 cartons, and add it just like that. Once you've added all of the basic details, you can click the checkbox in the upper right-hand corner here, and you'll see that information right below the task. This makes it simple to not just put things on your list, but get the right thing and the right amount of the right thing. And there's one more item inside the details screen that I'd like to talk about. Because when I get pasta, I don't like to get it from just anywhere. I'm going to click here and I'm going to click the little letter I. Here you're going to see a section called tags. And tags can allow you to create even more specific items and ways to keep track of lists. Because sometimes I want to make sure I bought this grocery item at Costco or at Whole Foods. So all I have to do is create a tag the first time that says Costco. And now inside of that item, you will notice the hashtag Costco. This can allow me to create smart lists to find all of the Costco items. And what's really nice about hashtags is you can add multiple hashtags to the same item. So I really prefer to buy this pasta at Costco, but sometimes that's just not possible. Sometimes I'm in Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, and if they have it there, I'll buy it there too. So let's click back on the pasta and let's go back to the letter I and let's come back down to the tag section. This time I'm going to add a new tag of Trader Joe's. Remember that when you build hashtags, you can't have spaces in between them. So even though Trader Joe's is 2 words, I'm going to run it all together just like this. And that goes right onto the tag list. Now, if I'm in Trader Joe's, I can buy the pasta, or if I'm in Costco, I can buy the pasta. And once I've bought the pasta and completed it, and it disappears from this list, if I want to buy it again, I can come up to the 3 dots, click Show Completed, bring it back, and it will maintain the tags that I put on it before, making sure that I always remember which stores I prefer to buy that item at. Now for clarity, we're talking about things inside of the grocery list that may not always apply to the grocery list. I mean, I don't always need to add hashtags onto pasta or grocery items, and I don't always need to add images or specific notes onto the Greek yogurt. I'm using it as an example for you to understand the capability of the Reminders app. But before we complete our grocery list project, there's one more piece to this Reminders app that I want to talk about, and that's collaboration. This grocery list can't just exist on my phone. I've got multiple people in the household who are constantly eating stuff, throwing stuff away, and buying stuff without letting me know. So in order to be on the same page, I'm going to collaborate on this list. To do that, click the Share button in the upper right-hand corner here. And you can choose multiple different ways to collaborate. I'm going to do it via messages. And I'm going to send this list over to my buddy Reggie by putting his name in and clicking the Send button. Once you've shared a reminder list with somebody, you'll see their picture up above. Clicking on that picture will allow you to manage that shared list, choosing who's the owner, who's got permissions, and adding additional people or including the notification settings or other share options. When you start collaborating, it adds additional functionality because sometimes you need to know who's responsible for a particular item on a list. In this case, I'm going to be near a store that has great olives. So I'm going to press and hold on this olives item and click where it says Assign right here. This is going to let me assign that item to Reggie or Dylan. I'm going to assign it to Dylan, and that way Reggie knows that I've got it covered and I'll pick up the olives as soon as I get to that store. So I strongly recommend collaborating on the grocery list and sharing it with anyone in the household who either buys groceries or uses groceries. That way, no one gets blamed when you walk in the front door and you didn't get milk because someone didn't add it to the list. It shares the responsibility and it makes sure that everyone has access to the entire groceries list, no matter who it is that stops off at the store. So for my next reminders trick, I'm going to create a project management list to handle a specific task. You see, my buddy Reggie's finally getting off a PC and moving over to a Mac, and I want to make sure we handle it properly. There's a ton of little tasks that are necessary when you're doing that kind of a big project migration. So rather than keeping them in my head, I'm going to put them right into reminders. Let's start off by clicking on the New List button in the upper right-hand corner here. I've gone ahead and given it a basic title. But this time, I don't need to change the list type. The standard list is just perfect for what we're going to do. But I do want a different color. Let's make it purple, and let's find a nice icon in the emoji section to really help this project come to life. I'm going to come in right here, search for Mac, and let's grab this iMac right there. That looks perfect. Let's click the blue checkbox and get started. Now for this project, we've got a laundry list of all sorts of things that we're going to need to do. But in order to really manage this project, we're going to need to know another reminders tool. This one is called Subtasks. A subtask is when one task has other things that need to happen underneath it. For example, I'm going to need to purchase equipment for Reggie. And I already have a list of the equipment that we're going to need. You'll see it right here. There's a keyboard, a mouse, a trackpad, a monitor. Let's come up to the three dots and let's choose Select Reminders right here. That will allow us to select multiple items by running our fingers straight down them just like this. Now I'm going to press and hold on them and drag them down to the bottom where I have the Purchase Equipment task. If I drop them right on top of that, it's going to add all of those in as subtasks, which means that I can close these items off by clicking the arrow on the right side. That keeps my list shorter and more organized. There are multiple ways that you can add something as a subtask. The first way you can do it is press and hold and drop it on the other task just like that. You will see it indent. Another way to do it, if it's directly beneath its parent task, is you can swipe from the left to the right to indent it, which also allows it to be a subtask. Or you can click into any item, click on the letter I here, and come down to where it says Subtasks and add them in manually right here. So there's lots of ways to build these subtasks to make sure that all of the separate pieces of your project are easy to remember and easy to organize. I'm going to share this with Reggie by clicking on the Share button right here, going into Messages, and collaborating with him because some things I'm going to do and some things he's going to need to do. And there are some things that are extremely important and some things that are a little less important. So let's come into where we've got Set Up Google Calendar. I'm going to click on it and click the little I on the right side here. Now from here, Reggie can come in and put the notes for his Google Calendar login right into the notes section here so it's easy for me. And in addition to that, because this is one of the more important tasks, he can flag it right here. That means he'll be alerted that it's been flagged and it'll be easier for both of us to get it done. Down here, I'm going to assign that reminder directly to Reggie. You'll notice right here we see his image and we see the little flag, which helps it stay top of mind. And one of the other things we can do inside of the reminder details screen is add URL. So here where I want to purchase this keyboard for Apple, I can click the lowercase I and come into the URL and add the purchase link right there so it's easier for me to buy it when I'm ready to. It gives a link right underneath the task, and if I click that link, it'll take me right to the web where I can purchase that product in just a couple of clicks. It's really valuable to add URLs into reminders in certain situations. Now, as we continue on with this project, there's something else that needs to happen. We're going to need to cancel Microsoft because he's not going to need it anymore on the Apple system. To do that, I'm going to set a date or time-based reminder so that I don't forget to do it before the next time he's charged. Let's click our little I again. And where it says date, I'm going to turn it on. In this case, it's going to renew on February 19th, and I don't want to let that happen. So let's click on the 19th right there, and let's set a time for it, clicking here and choosing 9 a.m. Now I won't forget to cancel Microsoft before they renew him again. So there's all these little pieces inside of the reminders details section that can make things easier, whether you're assigning a task to a certain person, adding a URL, adding notes like passwords into it, or adding subtasks. So now I've got a very clear list that will allow me to easily take care of each task as we go. We purchased the recommended hardware, we imported Gmail to Apple Mail, we installed the essential apps, we created the backup. As we go through this project, I can knock these things off one at a time to make it super simple for me to handle the entire project. But in just a moment, we're going to kick that up even one more notch, because in our third project, we're going to learn about columns. So in this final project, we're going to bring all of those tools together to make it easy to manage your daily tasks and priorities. In this section, we're going to create a priority list that helps you get things done every single day. It starts by clicking up at the top and building a new list just like this. I like to call my priority list Now, because I don't want to wait to get it done. I'm going to give it a nice red color just like that so it gets my attention. And I'm going to find a nice simple glyph of exclamation points down at the bottom so it really stands out. There's no question I'm going to see that list now. Let's pin that list by pressing and holding on it and choosing where it says pin. Now it's right up at the top where I can get to it quickly and easily. But there's a really important thing we haven't talked about. Because the Reminders app has multiple lists, one list is designated as your default list. This is the list where things go if you just add them by Siri or add a reminder and don't specify it. It's an important list to set up, and for me, my Now list is my default list. So here's how you set up the default list. Start by heading into Settings. Head all the way to the bottom where you see Apps. From the Apps section, you can either search the app by using the search bar at the bottom, or you can press the letters on the right side, or you can scroll. Little power tip for you, if you put your hand on the letters and move slowly, it will go one letter at a time, making it easy for you to quickly get right to where you're going. There's Reminders right there. Let's click into it. And from here, you'll see that my default list is already set on Now, which means that whenever I add reminders, that's where they're going to go as a default. Let's come back into the Reminders list and talk about how to make a priority list by using columns. To do this, click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner here and choose where it says View as Columns. This is going to allow you to create separate columns and move items from one column to the other to help categorize them. You can still use tasks, subtasks, and tags, but using columns allows you to visually identify different priorities, different categories, and different sections. To create your first column, come up to the three dots in the upper right-hand corner and choose where it says New Column. When you do, you'll give it a name. I'm going to call this one Priority. And in my world, I only get 3 items that I can put on the priority list each day because, let's be honest, you can't really get more than 3 big tasks done each day. All of the other items on this list are now in a column called Others. You can create multiple columns as you go by clicking the 3 dots and adding additional columns under the Manage Columns section here. We'll click New Column, and this one is going to be called Tasks. I'm going to designate 2 different kinds of sections, my priority needs and my reoccurring tasks right here. Now what I can do is come through the list of existing reminders and I can move them into the separate columns. For example, I need to edit the thumbnail for my reminders video before I release it. I'm going to press and hold on it and click where it says Move to Column and choose Priority. That's one of the 3 things I want to make sure I get done. Now as I scroll through here, I can see that I also need to finalize the script for my next video, which is due today. Ouch. Let's press and hold on it again, come down to Move to Column, and send that over to Priority. You can also drag things over to separate columns. I'm going to press and hold on it and slide it to the left until it goes all the way over to my priority column just like that. This means my 3 top things are set and ready for me to work on. But there's other things I need to do. So let's grab some of these other tasks. Here I've got water plants at home, and that's something that reoccurs weekly, but it's important. I'm going to click on it and click the I. Let's make sure we've got a date for it. I like to do that on Wednesdays, and I like to set a timer just in case I forget. We'll set it for noon. But I want to make sure that that repeats every week. So when I complete it on Wednesday, it just comes back automatically. By clicking repeat here, I can choose to make it weekly, just like that. Down below that, you can also have an early reminder. This is helpful if you want to make sure you get it done. I'm going to put an early reminder for an hour before. That means I'll get alerted at 11 a.m. on Wednesdays and then again at 12, and that way I can make sure I get it done. But my wife hates it when I let the plants die. So I'm going to consider that a relatively high priority task. Coming into the priority section down here, I can click on it and I can give it a medium priority. And now you'll notice that the water plants shows with the exclamations, letting me know it's a high priority. Let's find one of the other high priority things. You know, I'm learning to play the guitar and it's really important that I practice. So let's come back to the little I and let's make that a high priority task. And in fact, I want to make sure that happens every single day. Date, today, time, 8 a.m., repeat, daily. Well, maybe not every day. Let's come back here and change it from daily to weekdays. Except I've got a project I do on Wednesdays and Thursdays in the morning. You know what I'm going to do? Let's come back to the repeat and let's come down to where it says custom. In the custom section, you can create multiple different kinds of repeating alerts. Click on where it says daily, but I'm going to change it from daily to weekly. Now it gives me specific options about which days I want to be reminded to do it. I'm going to say Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days out of the week, it's almost weekly. Let's call it good enough. And I'm going to click the checkbox. That's going to automatically create reminders for me at 8 a.m. 4 days out of every week. Notice that it shows that that's due today by being in red, letting me know I haven't done my practice yet. Now you'll notice that we have multiple priorities on this list, but they're not in the right order, which is where sorting your lists comes in. By clicking the three dots in the upper right-hand corner, you can easily sort in multiple ways. The default is manual, but I'd like to sort by priority, just like this. And now those items show up at the top. And I'm going to move them over into the tasks column all at once. Let's click the three dots. Let's click select reminders. Let's grab these ones. Let's also grab that one and that one. And let's click the column selection right here and choose to put those into the tasks list. Now I've got a clear column for the three things that must happen, a clear column for some repeating and regular items with alerts and reminders pre-built in, including repeating reminders, and a list of some other things that I want to get done. Which brings me to the last part of this lesson. You can easily add things into reminders manually, but you can also do it with Siri. You can trigger Siri in a couple of different ways. You can do it by voice by saying and then telling it what you want to be reminded about. Or you can do it by pressing and holding in the right side button and speaking while you're holding it and releasing it when you're done. I prefer using the button almost exclusively. When you're adding something into a specific list, you have to do it with a very specific phrase. It sounds like this: add blank to my blank list. Like this. Add raspberries to my grocery list. And just like that, it's added raspberries directly into my grocery list right in the produce section. But when you're adding tasks to your default list, it's even easier because you don't have to tell it what list to put it into. It can sound a little something like this. Remind me to review the new website for desired changes. And each time when you release the button, it processes it and adds it directly into your default, or in my case, now list, into the others section on the far right. And here are all the new tasks that I've added, making it easier than ever for me to stay on top of all of my projects without completely losing my mind. So as you can see, the Reminders app has some really powerful tools. But there's just one more thing we need to talk about. Before I drop my MacWhisperer power tip, if you've gotten great value out of today's lesson, give it a thumbs up. That makes it easier for other people to find it, and it goes a long way. And if you've got a question, a comment, or an innovative way that you're using Reminders, drop it down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you're thinking to yourself, this guy's pretty good, he knows his stuff, hit that subscribe button and that notify bell so you'll always be alerted whenever I drop new content, and so that we can get your technology working for you instead of the other way around. And with that being said, it's time for the power tip. Apple has been steadily upgrading the Reminders app for years now, adding tools like columns, adding automatic Apple Intelligence categorization, adding the grocery lists, and so many other features that just make it more and more powerful. It's one of the tools I use every day to get things done, whether it's keeping track of lists of the things I need to do around the house, or whether it's tracking all the movies that I'd like to see with my wife when we have a little bit of free time. But one of the most annoying features of Reminders has finally been solved. You see, a lot of people are overwhelmed with notifications, and they've allowed everything to alert them, and so they're not hearing anything. So when their Reminders list says, "Hey Dylan, don't forget to do this," it's got to stand in line between 46 other reminders saying, "Check your Facebook, and here's an email, and here's some junk, and did you see this text message?" And it doesn't get done. But with iOS 26.2, Apple finally fixed that by adding what is called urgent reminders. So for this, let's head back into my Now list. I absolutely must review this new website and get my notes back to the people who are working on it, or it's going to get held up by me. And that's not cool. So to do this, I'm going to click on that task and come into the letter I again, and I'm going to click where it says urgent. When this urgent alarm goes off, it won't go off as a subtle notification. It'll go off like an alarm, and you will need to click a button to stop it from making noise. It will keep making noise and getting your attention until you handle it and clear it. But a word of warning for you: don't make too many items urgent, or you'll repeat the problem of having too many notifications. If everything's urgent, then nothing's urgent. So make sure you pick and choose which tasks must get accomplished and set only those ones to urgent. So that's what we've got for today's video, all about the basics of how to use the Reminders app on your phone to set up grocery lists, to set up project task lists, and to create a daily priority list, amongst other tools. Don't forget to head over to the description section to download your free smart guide or scan this QR code right here. I hope you learned a lot in today's lesson, but remember, there's always more to learn. Check out this video over here for even more amazing Apple tips and tricks to get the most out of your Apple devices and to make sure you become a productivity powerhouse. I'm Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer, and I'll see you in the comments.